Hey everyone, we got a great show planned for you today. BMW finally announces their vehicle subscription plans where you can pay a monthly fee for certain add-ons, and employees over at Gates Automotive have donated and committed over $82,000 to 7 local charities in 2023. Quite an inspiration. But first, we're going to talk to Bill Alter, who's the salesperson of the month over here at our Chevy store. Bill, thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, you've been here for a couple years now, so when did you start at Gates? How did you transition to this?
It was actually April 14th of 2018, so I'm coming up on 5 years here.
Sure.
Yep.
5 years.
Yeah.
So what's changed with you, with the car business, with Gates over the last 5 years? What's new?
Well, I've definitely learned a lot. When I first started, obviously, I had no idea what I was doing and just kind of like jumped into it. I was in retail management for years and ran the store in the mall in Old Navy here in Mishawaka. And obviously, it's been a big change, but a good change. I like it. So I like helping people. So
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of the root of what makes Gates good, but also people in retail positions. They're dealing with customers all day long. They're trying to find solutions to people.
Yep.
And for you, you've really, in my opinion, you've really grown and developed in Chevrolet big time. So if there's a Chevy question out there, Bill's your guy.
Yes, sir. Yep, for sure.
Well, let's talk about the Chevy lineup real fast. So Chevy has changed a lot of stuff over the last couple of years, and they've even announced some of their new EVs coming up. So like the EV Silverado, the EV Blazer.
Yep.
They do have a couple current ones like the Bolt EV, the Bolt EUV.
Yep.
Kind of a lot's been changing about that, but we still continue to update the other stuff like the Suburban,
Yep.
the Tahoe, all that stuff. What's your favorite car?
I like my Tahoe.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
And you've got the new body style. So what year is yours?
2022.
Yeah, which
Yep.
is a huge adjustment over the last generation.
For sure.
For the Tahoe. I think they kind of waited too long to update that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What's your favorite feature in your Tahoe?
I love all of it, really, but
Yeah.
I like the 360 camera and the 22-inch rims.
Yeah. So one other thing they're about to start releasing on vehicles is it's called Super Cruise.
Yep.
So kind of like talk us through what Super Cruise is, what you can do with it, and kind of like the benefit for it.
Super Cruise is basically like self-driving to an extent. Obviously, you still have to have your eyes on the road and everything, and
Sure.
there's sensors to make sure you're doing that. But I don't know, you've probably seen the commercials where they do the clap or whatever, like they're in the vehicle and clapping their hands basically because they don't have to have their hands on the steering wheel. So that's pretty cool. So
Yeah. When are they going to start releasing that? Do you know?
it's already here.
Okay.
Yep. We actually just sold a Suburban last week that had it on it. So
That's cool.
yep, next level capabilities there for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, I think it only works on certain roads. It's not like every single road. It's
Yep.
maybe just, is it highways? Is it local streets? Like, what is
Mostly
it? You know?
highways and like big,
Sure.
roads. Yep,
Yeah.
for sure. Yep.
And I guess that's where we're going to be using it the most, is on highways, on bigger, more populated roads, stuff like that.
Yep.
It's not like you're doing it in your neighborhood.
Yeah, no. I would hope not, right? Yeah.
So even Chevy as a whole, not only has that changed, but I think Gates has also kind of changed. We go from new Chevys a couple years ago to having like 300 on the ground.
Yeah.
And then having almost none. And then now we're starting to stock more and more vehicles.
For sure.
So we've actually got sedans on the ground. So we've got
Yep.
Malibus, we've got Tahoes that are available,
Yep.
Suburbans, even Traverses, and obviously the Equinox. Now, do you know when they're going to start offering the EV Equinox?
I believe that's early next year, end of this year, one or the other. I know
Yeah.
that the initial Blazers are going to start rolling out in the fall with
That's
select
cool.
trim packages and stuff.
That's cool.
And the same thing for Silverado. So,
Cool. So
Yep.
we might even have Silverado EVs on the ground by the end of this year.
yep.
Wow.
Hopefully we get an allocation.
Yeah, true. You're right. It'll be slow moving at first, I guarantee it.
Yep.
Even with local charging stations. So, I mean, it's really divided what people's perspectives are of EVs. So, I mean, what side of the table do you sit on?
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I still like my gas, but at the same time,
Sure.
I'm open to it, and we're learning about them. And a lot of the technology and stuff that they're putting them is pretty amazing. So,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what it turns into and everything. So,
Sure. And even like with the cost savings, not with the initial purchase price, but over time with the energy savings. So we went to an EV symposium a
Yep.
few months ago.
Yep.
And at that event, they kind of talked about you are paying a premium if you do DC fast charging like at a station, but that's significantly cheaper than what you can get with 400 miles on a regular Silverado,
Right.
which I thought was pretty impressive.
for sure.
Now, I think they still have to work some stuff out. Like you can't get a full range on towing
Right.
So you still need to have like additional
I've watched
capacity.
some videos about that lately.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yep.
And even, like the Ford Lightning was getting a lot of crap because if you tow with it, what they say you can tow, you only get like 100 miles.
I say I heard like 90 something or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Chevy has been a little bit slower to move on stuff like that because they really want it figured out.
For sure.
But it'll be kind of interesting to see.
Yep.
So you're salesperson of the month at our Chevy store.
Yes, sir.
What does it take for you to be successful? Like, there's a lot of things that you do really well, education-wise in Chevy, following with people, really helping people and finding solutions. Right. But what would you attribute your success to?
In the month of December, I think it was definitely a lot of repeat and referral business. I think 50% of my business was referrals in the month of December, so that definitely helped. And then I had some vehicles that I've been waiting on since July finally arrived that I was able to deliver, so that was nice. And then it helps when some of the big dogs are on vacation. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely worked out, especially in December.
Yep.
Now January, I know that we have had we've had a great start so far.
Right.
In the first 10, 11 days in January, we were already delivering a ton of vehicles, but I think it's because we have that availability that other dealers don't have.
Yeah, and that was the other thing too, is actually having some vehicles on the ground. So when you have a customer interested in something, we have a new option. So with the new options, like, oh yeah, if you can get your hands on one, it's go time. So
yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, Bill, is there anybody that you want to shout out that kind of helped you get to where you're at today?
I think my managers, obviously, they always help on a day-to-day basis, and there's some teammates out here that bounced past me some deals or whatever that they were busy, so I helped them out.
Yeah, they passed the ball.
Yep, yeah. The half the units definitely add up into full units at the end of the month, and yeah, it worked out good. So
sure,
for sure,
cool,
yep.
Awesome. Well, if you want to find Bill, you can find him here at our Chevy store. Stay tuned to learn more about the BMW subscription plans and also how Gates Giving has committed over $82,000 to 7 local charities here in 2023. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Car Talk is presented by Gates Automotive, Northern Indiana's premier local-owned auto dealer, specializing in Toyota, Chevy, and pre-owned vehicle sales and service. Gates Automotive has locations in South Bend, Mishawaka, Granger, and Elkhart. For more information, visit GatesAutomotive.com.
Thanks again to Gates Automotive for making Car Talk possible. First thing in our news today is we'd like to talk about BMW, the car manufacturer that's starting to bring subscription packages for specific services on their vehicles. Initially, they talked about doing even heated seats as a monthly subscription service, meaning that you would pay every single month for your heated seats. There was a lot of skepticism and a lot of anger from potential buyers for BMW because of this, and they finally changed their tune and their story a little bit. So you can either purchase an acceleration boost, remapping of your engine, as well as even full self-driving for autonomous mode. This kind of makes more sense because it's an actual service that they provide on a month-to-month basis. It's not like they're charging you for wheels or doors that are already on your vehicle. Huge props to BMW for finally figuring that out. In other news, employees at Gates Automotive have completed their Gates Giving 23 campaign. They've committed over $82,000 to be given to 7 local charities. Now, $52,000 is from employees that have committed a portion of their pay weekly to go to these 7 charities, and then there's another $30,000 that the company has already set aside and committed to other local charities. These 7 local charities include United Way, Center for Hospice in Elkhart and Mishawaka, Michiana Downs Syndrome Resource Center in Mishawaka, the Crossing Education Center, both in South Bend and Elkhart, Reigns of Life Therapeutic Horseback Riding, Little Wish Foundation, and Heroes Camp Youth Organization in Mishawaka. Gates Giving does have a long history at Gates Automotive, dating back all the way to the 1950s when the company's founders, Van Gates and L.O. Gates, raised funds for the construction of the St. Joe Hospital, which is now St. Joe High School. The campaign's goal is to make a difference in the community and continue the legacy of giving back to what has made the company successful, which is this community and the people here. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Car Talk presented by Gates Automotive. Stay tuned for our next episode. Until then, we will see you around.